Hello, my name is Eddie Tofpik. I'm Head of Technical Analysis and Senior Markets Analyst at ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here is your daily technical analysis of Brent crude oil and spot gold.
ICE Brent crude oil futures. A reactionary large black mirror boson on Friday. There was also a bearish engulfing pattern and outside day. This was a continuing follow-on low from the bearish stick sandwich pattern the market made after a fashion late last week. Prices punched down through the rising medium moving average, currently at 85.60, as well as the middle time, currently 84.68, of the late September to late October bearish shift pitchfork, but only managed to close right on the latter one after all. Below we have the October low at 83.44 and then the flatlining long moving average, currently 82.56. Whilst further above we have the interesting October 2018 high at 86.67 and the 50% Fibonacci line in November 2020 to March 22 move at 87.41. Now, though the middle gap has been filled, I would still perhaps consider looking at the action since the peak in September to date as a possible 3-gap move lower, for a breakaway gap in late September and a continuation gap at the end of October, and a possibility now of an exhaustion gap below in the offing, potentially somewhere in the 78 even area. This requires a little more consideration, but I wanted to lodge the idea with you early on. Such an idea will have to overcome some pretty heavy duty supports below that I've already mentioned. Well, so far today, well, a higher open, and though we have had a test down to the middle time support and Friday's close, prices have instead turned higher, though not as high as the October 2018 high at 86.67. Spot gold. A bullish white soldier on Friday, arguably a second bullish white soldier that punched up through the September 2020 high at 1992. But no more than that, finishing right on the September high. Meanwhile, support below still seems to be the November 2020 high at 1965 and the 2021 high at 1959. Overall, I would still like to acknowledge the one big picture item that happened last week of a monthly key reversal up for October. Now, one continuing final thought, and something I've mentioned a few times before, I would continue to look at the action since about August as a diving board pattern. This pattern is inherently bullish, and such a pattern as seen here, especially after a monthly key reversal up ought to point to higher prices, which is surprising given how much the market has hesitated at current levels. Now, so far today, the September 2020 high at 1992 acting as a resistance as prices dip down below it, lower than on Friday, but not really following through lower any further.
Thank you for listening. This short version broadcast gives essential market patterns and consequences. Please be aware of the risk disclaimer posted both at the front and the back of this broadcast. Copyright is Eddie Tofpik and ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here comes the final important bit.